Taylrv Living. I'm Veronica Taylor, your host. And if you're a busy professional looking to simplify your life, you are in the right place. Today, we have an exciting guest. Beverly of Ask Beverly is here to help us declutter our routines and to get our bodies in order. So, without further ado, let's meet Beverly.
Beverly.
Hi,
And as
Beverly.
hello, Veronica. Thank you. And my channel is Ask Beverly.
Yes.
And as she alluded to, I speak about wellness, and I'm a fitness enthusiast and a lifelong exerciser and all of that. You know what I wanted to say also, just right off the top, is thank you,
You're
Veronica, for having me on here to have this conversation. I appreciate the opportunity to just come here and talk to you. So thank you.
welcome.
Uh, yeah. And so my channel, Ask Beverly, yeah, I guess it's all things kind of fitness and wellness. And, I've been exercising for decades consistently. And so that's very much a part of my life. And I do my best to, have a balanced diet. And so that's very much part of my life. And I'm in menopause, and that's very much part of my life. And so these are the kinds of things I talk about. Travel. I will ultimately talk about some travel and that sort of thing because it interests me. And my husband and I travel, and we have a house outside of the country in Jamaica, and
Mhm.
so I will ultimately talk about that sort of thing. But yeah, so it's just the beginning for me on my channel. I'm very new on YouTube,
Mhm.
but those are the things that interest me, and those are the things that I talk about there.
Great. Well, welcome.
Thank
Let's
you.
jump into our first question.
Okay.
So, you emphasize that wellness isn't just fitness, it's a mind, body, and spirit. How do you help women balance all three without feeling overwhelmed?
Um, yeah, that's a very good question. And I guess the first thing that I would say is we can try and incorporate all those things into our lives, but it's like anything. I think that maybe you can't do it all at once, right? Maybe you can only concentrate on your fitness, or maybe you can only concentrate on your mental well-being, right? So
Mhm.
to start with one thing, maybe so that it doesn't feel so overwhelmed. Um, I know for myself, when I think of like everything at once, and you're an organizer, and so you probably know this from your clients, when I look at everything all at once, that feels overwhelming.
Yeah.
So if I was going to do like just the mind piece of it, and something that I do, I try and do it every day. I don't always do it every day,
Right.
is meditation before I even get out of bed. And I will do like I use the Calm app, the daily Calm app, and
Yeah.
they're like 10 minutes long. And that's something for my mind, right?
Mhm.
And even if I don't do anything else for myself the rest of the day, I've at least done that before I even got out of bed. So my answer would be just try to not look at everything at once, and maybe pick one thing, or as I say, take a small bite. You don't have to take a big bite of everything.
Oh, yes. I tell my clients that all the time. They're like, I'm
Yeah.
too overwhelmed. Where do I start? And I'm like, let's start. The hardest thing is to start, number one.
Yes. Yeah.
Start with one thing, put a timer on it,
Yes.
and once it's done, forget about it. Go about your business. Go about your day. That's it. Like, because
I mean,
then if it becomes too much, oh, I got to do this. I got to do this. This, and now you're making it more of a list that is bigger than what it needs to be. If you nip
yeah,
at it little bit by little, you should be fine.
yeah, it complicates things, but what you do is very much, I think, like what you just said, it's really taking piece by piece by piece. And I tell you that your closet organization thing that you had on your channel, I remember watching it when you first did the video, and then, um, and then I thought there was one day I was here and all my closets, I'm just a mess in terms of like, I have to, like most people, too much stuff. And so I remember I went back to your video and, there were the steps and I cleared out one closet and we have like a guest room and I cleared out that closet. And one of the things you said is just take the stuff right away.
Yeah.
Anything that
Yeah.
you're giving away, take it right away.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, y'all look at that video. It helped me.
Oh
I
my
felt
goodness. Because then you don't have to look at it. If you take it right away, if it's out of sight, out of mind, you don't have to look at it.
yeah. Yeah. But that last piece to take it, like to donate it right away.
Uh-huh.
I had a box of stuff in my garage. My husband and I were just, for months. Right. And it was just this stuff that was there. And I remember taking it and dropping it off. It felt like such a relief. I completed it
Yeah.
instead of, this thing. Anyway, so thank you for that. Yeah.
Next question. You talked about health disparities like diabetes, hypertension in our communities. What's one small habit that can make a big difference?
Well, I mean, there are lots of things that I can think about, and what might seem like a small habit to me might be a big habit to somebody else. But like as it relates to diabetes and that sort of thing, a change that you can make, and this might be hard for you if you are somebody who drinks a lot of soda, but to just give up your soda.
Oh,
Or to just give up your soda. And I would even say like diet soda, because regular soda, sugar, and diet soda is chemicals. And, and if that's hard for you, maybe just drink it on the weekends and give it up during the week. Or, you know what I mean? Like
mhm.
start like that, because I think that will make a big difference. Or incorporate, if you never eat greens like salads or something like that, maybe try and incorporate that into your meal. It's a small thing, and eat that salad first before you start on your French fries and everything like that. If you eat French fries, but something like that, I would say, again, a small, like one thing instead of like the whole thing. Maybe you don't have to redo your whole diet, but
Mhm.
maybe pull something out that you do like soda. It's just, if you can avoid it, I would just say avoid it.
Yeah. I think one thing that got me off of soda is that I switched it to sparkling water.
Love it.
And it was like a flavor sparkling water. And then I got off of
Love
the flavor and then I just got to sparkling water. Because I think for me it was more so of the feel like that. I don't know what you call it, like a is it, I don't know, like a burn, or is it,
Yes.
I'm
Burn.
sorry, yeah. Yeah, I don't yeah. So I was like, I'm not the right vocabulary word,
Love
but
burn.
yeah, so I switched it and it was better and I didn't miss it. And so when I go out or something, if I do decide to have one in a blue, it's like, oh, I don't even drink the whole can. It's like, all right, I tasted it and it's like, okay, this is it.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that your palate just changes also once you start, like you were saying, you drink sparkling water. Once you give up certain things like soda, when you drink it again, it tastes like really sweet.
Yeah.
It feels, not as enjoyable for me as I remembered it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh. How do you redefine self-care for women who've always put themselves last?
Um, I would say this is like a big one, I think. And a really, it's a great question. It's an important question. And I think for women, um, and women, like then if you have children, and then if you have a spouse, and then if you have a job, and then if you have, your extended family, and you've got all these other things going on, I think that oftentimes for women, we don't even put ourselves on the list, right? We've got all these lists of responsibilities and people that we're responsible to, and
Mhm.
responsible to take care of, and we don't put ourselves on the list. And so I would say, you have to put yourself on the list.
Mhm.
We're the only us that we have, right?
Right.
And I think that um, that is so vital. And I was thinking about this the other day. I was actually talking to some other ladies about this. And oftentimes, what comes up is that people don't have time. And I understand that because there are all these other things that we have, other responsibilities that we have. But I was thinking, if you have children, for instance, right? If
Mhm.
there was something that your child needed that was outside of what you already do, getting them ready for school or whatever it was for their health or for their well being, you would do it. You
Mhm.
would carve out that little bit of time, whatever it was, if it's extra hour in the morning because you have to take them someplace, or if they have to eat certain meals, you're going to do it. And you're going to do it because you love them and
Mhm.
you want them to have the best. And I would just say, as corny as it sounds, you have to think about yourself in that way. If you can carve out that time for somebody else, we have to figure out a way to carve that out for ourselves also. And I have found for me that that's usually at the beginning of my day. Once my day gets rolling,
Uh-huh.
other things are going to get in there,
Mhm.
other things.
Yeah. I don't have any children, but I do have a lot of friends. And so
Yeah.
I have boundaries with my friends. It's like, okay, 'cause sometimes that it can like suck you dry. It's like, okay, you're trying to help this person out with this issue and this solve this problem. And it's like,
Right.
okay, too much. It's like I need to, focus on me now. So no, I totally understand. Yeah, you definitely have
It's,
to
yeah.
have boundaries and do things accordingly and try to schedule as much as you can without getting overwhelmed, for yourself, you
You
know.
do, and I really think that women in particular, I think that I don't know, women are caretakers. I don't have children, but you're, I don't, it's almost like we're taught, even if you're not, someone doesn't say it to you, but you're taught to kind of put yourself last. That, oh, you're a nice person if you do these things for everybody else. You want to be a nice person. And I just think, I don't know, I'm at this age where I'm just like, when is my time? you know, really, Yeah.
Yeah. Um, you connect travel to wellness. What's a cultural practice for your travels that change how you care for your health?
I think uh, if I understand your question, I find that when I travel, even like when I go to Jamaica, the way of eating or is different. We eat like a lot of fresh. Um, I do that here, but fresh meaning even like the local town that we go and shop at,
Mm,
people are out on the street selling vegetables that they grew themselves. So it's fresh and natural foods. The fruit, we have fruit trees there. We're eating the fruit right off of the trees. So, I just think to eat in a more local way, right? Instead of, I think oftentimes what it is here in the United States. So that's what I would say is just kind of eating in a more local way. Like I know that, there's a lady down the street from our house there, Miss I is her name, and
mhm.
she sells vegetables. And sometimes I think I need some potatoes. I'm going to drive up the road to see if she has some.
Right, right.
Yeah.
I think also for me, like when I travel, I want to try everything from like that place, right?
Yes.
So if I was like on a diet or my trying to watch what I eat goes out the
Yeah.
window. Um,
Yeah.
and I don't, I don't know if that happens with all people, but like you want to, really taste and try new things and so it's not I don't have a really restrictive diet of like, okay, if they have this, I'm only going to eat this. And because you don't enjoy it. Food is supposed to be enjoyed.
It is. It really is. And I think that that's really the thing, is that you have this. For myself, I mean, you had Lindsay on before, and she talked about the 80-20, which is 80% of the time you're eating well, and then 20% of the time you just, you're
Mhm.
not going to worry about it so much. And I would say that, though, when I travel, yeah, depending on where you are. If I'm in, excuse me, when I've been to a place like France or something, I'm having the bread, the cheese, the wine. I'm doing it all.
Yeah.
I'm having the pasta, I'm doing it
Doing it.
because you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, no, I'm going to do it all.
Yeah.
Um, because, that's not my everyday. That's not what I'm doing all the time. And so you want to experience that. You want to have that.
Mhm.
And yeah, so I'm with you on that. I'm with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely.
This is a good follow. How can women bring more vacation-like mindset, relaxed joy into their daily routines?
Um, I don't know. I would say, if I'm honest, I'm not really great at doing that, of bringing that vacation mindset home. I want that for myself, because I think that it's important. But honestly, even sometimes when I get on vacation, because here in this country and the way most of us live, we're so conditioned to work and to do more and to do more, that sometimes, even when I go on vacation, if I'm honest, it takes me a couple days to just chill,
Yeah.
to just relax and be where I am in
Mhm.
another environment and not do anything. And so that's a hard one for me, because sometimes I just feel like I constantly need to be doing something. So, at home, um, yeah, I struggle with that myself, just having more of a relaxed outlook about everything. That's something I'm working on.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel the same way when I go on vacation. It's always like, all right, we like what excursion we're going on, what time is dinner? We gotta go see, hike or go see this or go see that. And that in itself is exhausting. So it's like you've heard of the saying, I need a vacation from my vacation. And
Yeah.
it's like when you go on vacation, you're supposed to relax, but
Yes.
I don't think we don't. Most people don't, because you're trying to see, you're in a different environment, you're trying to see the world, all these great, wonderful things, and you still end up it's exhausting after a
It
while.
is.
This
It
is
is.
like, oh, I just need a day to do nothing.
Yeah.
Let me stay in the bed, to do nothing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, but I also try to, when I can, relax and do no I've had days where I've done absolutely nothing except
I
for
think I think it's
eat
important.
and take a shower, literally.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know.
I think it's really important, but I do think that it is something that, we struggle with. And again, I'm going to, I'm a woman, you're a woman. I'm going to say women, we have that, where a lot of times you just feel like you have to be doing something. That's one of the things that, I'll just mention it here. An idea that I have for our house there in Jamaica
Mhm.
is to do, just honestly, Veronica, a rest retreat. And I mean rest,
Yeah.
like sleep, have someone cook,
Mhm.
and rest and just commune with one another. And that's it. Not excursions, not a whole bunch of things, to just rest.
Yeah.
Because I think that we don't do that. We don't
Yeah.
do that.
We don't, especially here in the US, like, we are exhausted,
Yeah,
exhausted of being exhausted. It's like,
right.
and I think it's always this thing, like you said, it's just there's always something to do. It's like a never ending. You always have something to do. It's like, oh,
It-
you think of something, you walk past, your living room or space, and it's like, oh, I didn't that was on my list, 2 years ago.
yeah,
Let me, you know, let me get into this just to stay busy. And it's bad, you know? And so it's like we have to really unlearn that, you know.
I mean, that's beautifully said. We have to unlearn it. And because it is a conditioning, I think that we don't even realize that we have. Just speaking of just always doing and being like inundated, this happened to me recently, which was, like, because we're always, because I was, what you were just saying, I was thinking, we're always connected to our devices. We're expected to check our emails all the time. All of these things creates this like clutter.
Mhm.
And I was out recently and I was pumping gas at the gas station, right? And then somebody was talking to me and I was like, who's talking to me? Right. And then I realized there was a TV at the gas pump and it was a commercial. And I'm like, I can't even pump gas without just, you know what I mean? Noise. Like somebody selling me something. It's just so crazy, you know? We just, from every angle, you
Yeah.
know, it's something. It's like a commercial. But
That's
I was,
actually a great marketing campaign, like, because you have time to sit there and pump your gas. And so it's like, okay, while you sit there, it's like, let me get their mind off of the gas and onto whatever I'm trying to sell them.
yeah, I just want to pump my gas. It's the one time, listen, where I don't have to think about anything. I'm just pumping gas. And then it's like there's this voice. But what was funny was that I really was like, who's talking to me? Because I hadn't noticed the screen. And then, yeah, it was a commercial.
That is
Yeah.
hilarious. Oh my
Yeah.
god. What's your number one nutritionist tip for women navigating premenopause, menopause?
Um,
And let's start with the premenopause, like the early stage, because like right now, I am sweating. You can't. I don't know if
oh,
you see, but I'm sweating, and I'm 43. I'll be 44 this year, and I'm like,
um,
whew, whew.
okay. So you're having already a little bit of like hot flashes?
Yes.
Well, so, this is a big, topic for me, and I'm happy to dive right into it. For one thing, I would say, in the age that you are,
Hmm.
I would suggest this isn't nutrition, but I'll get to it. But what I would suggest is get your hormones tested and see what your levels are right now. Because, when I went through menopause, I'm in menopause, but when menopause hit me,
Hmm.
it hit me like a truck. And
Mm.
not so much, Veronica, with hot flashes. That really wasn't my symptom. I did a video about it on my channel that I was blindsided because the emotional aspect of it was really, really a lot. And also I started gaining weight and all of that stuff. But really would say for women like you that you're pre-perimenopause, you're perimenopause,
Right.
that do that to just see where your levels are, because I think it can be a smoother ride, but nobody tells you that. They just wait until you get there. And then it's like, depending on who you are, for me, it was terrible. Right. And I don't say that to scare people, but I say
Right.
that just for you to be prepared because I felt like I'm prepared for it. And
Mhm.
in terms of nutrition, what I will say, so I'm 57, and what I will say that what I do now at 57 is different than what I did at, when I was younger at 27, 37, 47, right? It's different. What worked for me then doesn't work for me now. So you're going to have to, nutrition wise,
Mhm.
I eat mostly keto diet. I say mostly keto, which means I don't follow it exactly. I'm not super, super strict, with myself.
Right.
But I will say you're going to have to figure out, you're going to have to re-navigate yourself. That what your diet is right now is probably going to have to change. It won't work. It's not just, that's the biggest thing for me, was that honestly, Veronica, it wasn't just calories in, calories out. It wasn't just exercise. I did all those things and I started gaining weight. It didn't even matter because
Mm.
my hormones were all crazy.
Mhm.
And your hormones control all those things. So I think, for you, at 43 years old, just find, a doctor where you can maybe get those levels tested. Somebody a woman, preferably, who understands.
Right.
Don't go to some man who, I'm sorry, and I'm not man bashing, but
Right.
that's how I am. Like, I want the doctor that I have right now
Uh-huh.
is a woman is a Black woman. I was so thrilled to find her,
Mhm.
and she's wonderful. She's the one that's helping me navigate my menopause,
Mhm.
and she listens, she understands. And I got to tell you, when I was feeling really bad and she looked at my blood work and all of that, I remember telling her how I felt, and I remember her saying, "Let's get you feeling better." And that was just music to my
Yeah.
ears. Yeah, she
Yeah.
cared. She said,
Yeah.
"Let's get you," and I feel better.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I feel better.
So yeah, I'll
So,
definitely have to get that checked out. Yeah, because it's only gonna get worse if I don't, you know.
well, you just don't want it to hit you like a
Yeah,
truck. You don't have to. It can be a smoother ride. Make it the smooth ride, Veronica.
I will
Make
make
it the
it for fine.
I want that for you,
Yeah, yeah,
if you're having the hot flashes already,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, check it out.
yes, I will. Thank you. Let's go to the comments. Let's see who's in the comments.
I don't see anyone.
Miss Willie, hi. Is there anything men can do to help women with these issues besides run out the house?
I swear.
What?
Oh my goodness. I know we sound crazy. I, I if I may answer this,
Yes, go right ahead. This is for you.
I listen, this is what I want to say to you. God bless you. God bless you for staying with a lady who's in menopause. Because my husband, the one thing I will say, I would just talk to him about it and I would just say, I don't know what's going on. I don't feel like myself,
Uh,
and he was very patient in everything. And so I appreciate that question. Just try and support her and understand that her emotions might be all over the place.
mhm,
And that's what I would say to men, to really just um, support her, that she feels supported and not like she's going crazy. Because that's what I felt like, honestly. I felt like I was going crazy.
mhm,
And I probably seemed like I was going crazy. But
mhm.
my husband sort of just listened and he tried to be supportive and he is smart enough to not say a lot.
Right.
So he's smart enough. That's what I say about him. He's smart enough to not say anything sometimes.
Tiffany is here. Hi,
Hi, Tiffany.
Tiffany. uh,
Yeah. I think I know that that's hard for men, but know that we are not trying to be crazy. We're just having a moment.
yeah. We say I have intolerances that developed as I got older.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes, you know what I think, like sometimes people develop allergies as they get older. And I think, and this is what's sad about like aging, right? But I think that when you're younger, sometimes those intolerances are there, but your immune system is so much stronger and it kind of suppresses it.
Mm-hmm.
And then as you get older, when your immune system weakens some, those things start showing themselves. Like maybe they've already been there, but your immune system was stronger as when you were younger, and as you get older, it's like, here I am. I've been here all along, I've been here all along. I don't know. That's my theory. That's my theory. Yeah.
She said she gave up milk in her 20s, and almond milk has much better for her body. Yeah.
Yeah, I use almond milk for a lot of things. Have dairy though, honestly. I'm Tiffany. Um, but I use almond milk that exclusively. Yeah, I do too. Like for smoothies or anything like that.
Yeah. So yes,
Diets
that
change.
change in
Mhm,
body tolerances change. Yeah.
mhm.
Mhm.
And you guys are, I think Tiffany, I don't know how old Tiffany is, but younger, and you're definitely younger than I am. And so yeah, you'll discover, I don't know, I'm like this period of my life right now, I just look at a different chapter. Everything's just not going to be the same as it was before, and just kind of accepting this is the chapter that I'm in right now, the
Mhm.
chapter of 57 years old. Yeah.
Listen, this is it is what it is, right?
It is. Yeah, it is.
She said also the hormones, especially estrogen in foods, I have to be very careful about that as well. Yes. And
Yeah.
that's even a bigger question. Another reason on my list of why I'm getting out of the US is that the food here
I know.
is taking us out.
It that's it.
The most healthiest people that I know had breast cancer, all types of different cancers,
Mhm.
all different types of and these are like super healthy, they
Right.
eat what they eat, they exercise, and it's like all these things are happening to them. And
Yeah.
it's just like, whew.
Yeah, it's really a lot, but uh, there are things that we allow in our food here, and like Tiffany was talking about estrogen in foods, right? There are things, our food is genetically modified
Yeah.
here in the US that it's acceptable.
Mhm.
And then like in Europe and other countries, it's outlawed. They don't allow them to do that. That's why even if you've traveled, um, if you've traveled and you go to some place in Europe, there are certain foods there that you can eat that you can't, that you have a different reaction to here in the United States,
Yeah.
because they don't allow some of the garbage that we allow in our food here.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, "Oh, this tastes different from the US,"
Yes.
It's like and they're like, "No, it's
Right.
supposed to taste like this, not like that, not what you get
Right.
in the US." It's, yeah. Tiffany said, "I had night sweats since early 30s. It's the worst." Ugh, yeah.
So again, for that, and I don't know if you have, Tiffany, I would just say have your hormones tested. And even if there's a natural way of, to see what your hormone levels are, because there might be even a natural way to deal with that, so that you don't suffer. Like that's the thing. This is the reason why I talk about like menopause, and you were talking about your hot flashes and all of that, because
Mhm,
I was suffering through certain symptoms, and like suffering, and
mhm.
I don't think that we should be suffering.
Yeah,
You know, so to find a remedy, to kind of know where we are hormonally, because it's very important, and then to kind of figure out the right route for you to sort of mitigate some of those symptoms that you're having. I think it's really important, because I don't like being, if I don't have to be uncomfortable, I don't want to be. If I don't have to be in pain, I don't want to be. So
uh-huh,
I'm really that person who's like, okay, how do I fix this? Because I
mhm,
don't want to feel like this.
yeah, yeah. It's very hard. Okay. How do you make healthy eating feel joyful, not restrictive for Black and brown women?
I would say, um, well, the way healthy eating for me really is joyful, because I do think that I have a healthy palate in general. And
Mhm,
so I would just say, um, if there's something that you like to eat that's maybe not that healthy, again, it's sort of the first point that I made. Try and incorporate something like a salad or something green into that. So maybe you don't have to throw everything away that
Mm.
you're doing because you have joy in, like I eat, there are plenty of things that I eat. I just don't eat all the time. I eat pizza. I make pizza. I like to make my own pizza. I buy the dough. I make my own pizza, right?
Mhm.
If I eat pizza though, always going to have the salad first.
Okay.
So I'm lining my belly with that salad. I'm going to eat less pizza, but I'm going to eat that pizza, right? So it's not just going to be bread. That's all that I'm eating. So that's what I would say. So it's still joyful because I'm eating pizza and I like it.
Yeah.
But I I'm making sure that I incorporate something healthy into that. So it doesn't feel like everything is so restrictive, right? That
Yeah.
you bring in some good for you stuff along with the stuff that you already like to eat.
Yeah. I was thinking when you were saying that, I was thinking about like if people would like make a list of all the foods that you eat that you like to eat, right? And then maybe find that healthier portion of it. So, like, if you want to eat a burger, maybe try a Beyond Burger, right? Because I taste a Beyond Burger, it tastes just like a burger. Like it's really,
Okay.
it's like I didn't
Yeah.
when I was eating it, I didn't miss having the real thing,
Yeah.
you know. So I would say kind of like if you can kind of find something that's healthier in that same category or across the line and try it and see, is this do you like it? You might like it better than the real thing. And then so you can kind of ease your way to that
Yes.
and you don't have to
Yes.
just throw it away, you know.
Yeah, everything isn't so extreme. So I was thinking about that earlier today. Just thinking about this conversation that we were going to have, and something like that would be like French fries. So first of all, in most fast food restaurants, with the exception of like out here, there's In-N-Out Burger, and they actually cut their potatoes. It's actually cut potatoes, nothing else. Other places that you go, it started with a potato, but a bunch of things to make it into whatever that is. So that's something that I've done here where I just, a russet potato, just a regular brown potato, cut
Mhm.
it up. I do cook it in the oven with oil and salt on it. They crisp up. It's it's not deep fried. It's not a manufactured French fry.
Mhm.
It's it's fries, and it satisfies that feeling of wanting French fries. It tastes very similar,
Mhm.
but it's better for me. It's not a, fast food French fry, but it satisfies that feeling of wanting that. There are things that you can do. I cook like that. I do that.
Mhm. Mhm. It's good.
Exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. What's a lazy girl fitness hack for busy women who don't have time?
Ah, lazy girl fitness hack. Well, I'm going to say again, and I'm going to sound like a broken record, but you have to make that time. Just carve out that little bit of time. Maybe it's a half hour at the beginning of your day. But, something that's, I don't want to say lazy, but just something of where you are, right? Where you don't have to join a gym is, I'm always going to tell you, just walk, walk,
Okay. There we go.
just go out, um, and walk around the block, or walk around your office, or whatever it is, get some steps in,
Mhm.
and that is going to be better than doing nothing at all. And most of us can do that. You can go outside and I can walk around my backyard. I don't
Yeah.
even have to, you know whatever it is. That's what I would say. But really, to make up your mind that you're going to incorporate something like that for yourself, not because you have to, but because you want to do that for yourself, for your well-being, that
Mhm.
you care about I think that's what I would say. So walk and just carve out that time. whatever it is. Maybe it's 15 minutes. I don't know. Depends on your schedule, you know?
Yeah. I go for long walks.
Good for
Anything
you.
anything to avoid the gym.
Yeah,
I don't like
yeah,
going to the gym.
yeah,
I know I need to. So I go for long walks, usually in the park. And also the other thing I do is like if the park had steps, like sometimes the park has long steps,
yeah,
I would literally
yeah,
intentionally walk up and down those steps. You know,
yeah.
so it'll be I get
Wonderful.
more of that
Cardiovascular
exercise.
workout.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
workout, yeah, and it's that I consider lazy, right? Because anything else after that, it's like lifting and it's more of more of an effort, you know?
It
So,
It it is, but that is wonderful for your body. And just the other thing that I will just say as it relates to exercise, which I say it all the time, in my videos that I've had so far on my channel that I've been exercising for decades. And I say that to say I say that not like, oh, it's so easy, but decades ago, I'm pointing to my head, it's a decision our whole lives. And you're an organizer.
mhm,
um, you organize people. It's once you teach them what to do, they have to decide that this is what they're going to do. These are the things that Veronica told me that I need to do in order to keep my life organized, to keep my closet organized, to keep my living room organized, whatever it is that my kitchen, right? And these are the things. And that in order for them to do it, what you've laid out for them, it has to be a decision. It starts here.
yeah, yeah,
And so as it relates to exercise, I say that again and again, not to say that like, oh, just decide, but really decide that for yourself, that you care about yourself that much, that you're going to make that decision.
yeah,
And again, it doesn't have to be the gym. It doesn't have to be this, big thing. You go for a walk. So then you're getting the environment. That's good for your mental health,
yeah,
of being in the park and all of that. I work out in my garage. I have a gym out there.
mhm,
And so I'm going to be doing some workouts on my channel, like little quick, I'm going to call them quick and dirties. And
okay,
so they're going to be like under 30 minutes. You'll need like just bands or light weights. I'm going to be doing that, but it'll be fast. So
mhm,
that even if you don't have a lot of time, you got 15 minutes.
yeah. You
Yeah,
get something in for today, and you don't
e-
feel guilty about.
exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. And
yeah,
don't feel guilty about any. My mother-in-law said to me, guilt is a wasted emotion.
yeah,
Nothing happens.
yeah.
Nothing, we don't move anything forward, being guilty.
Mhm. What's your simplest meal prep strategy for women who hate cooking?
Um,
And you're talking
well,
I don't hate I don't hate cooking.
there was hate in that question.
I know, but I mean, this is just for a general, but
I know.
it's not my thing. It's more of like if I have to do it, I'll do it because I have a chef at home. So, but that's not my go-to thing. So,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would just say to get in most grocery stores they have like the pre-cut up things.
mhm,
So they have the pre-cut up onions and peppers and also fruit and those kinds of things. That's going to help you somewhat on the prep. That stuff for me seems to take the most time. So I would say buy those pre cut up things to add to your meals. You can sometimes do also like frozen vegetables. Trader Joe's has a lot of good frozen vegetables
mhm,
and also like meals that you can get there. So that's what I would say. If you hate cooking, there are workarounds. You can do that. It's going to save you a little bit of time. You won't have to do everything.
yeah, yeah, it's good. How do you organize your time for self-care when life feels chaotic?
Um, I, I said this before. Um, for me, like if I do a meditation, for instance, I do that before I even get out of bed. My
Mhm,
workouts, I do them for years and years and years and years and years, even when I worked outside of my home. Right now, I work from home. I have for several years.
mhm.
But even when I worked outside my home, I do my workouts first. I do them before anybody can ask me to do anything for them. I want to get it out of the way before the chaos starts, right? So it's again, in that way I put my and I don't have kids and I understand that people have kids and families and all of those things. But for me what happens is the longer that my day goes on, the less likely I'm going to do anything for myself.
Mm,
Because other things will take up your time. Other people will take up your time. You're going to start having to do things for other people. Then your job's going to start and you're going to have to do all the things. Then you're going to get home and maybe you're going to have to make dinner for everybody. You know what I'm saying? So like so my tip would be put yourself first. Do it first before anybody can ask you to do anything.
yeah.
And then it's behind you. And
Oh,
then also when you start, like for me, when I start with a meditation, I at least feel like I started out my day with good footing, even though even if I cuss people out the rest of the day, at least it gave me, to start it good. There's an effort. But then like later on, when I fall off the wagon, I at least felt like a part of my day was good, you
I
know?
love that. So then, like, what do you do for like when you get your hair done, nails done, spa? Do you do any of that stuff or no?
I don't. I'm a mess. I rarely do that. I love a massage. I do go. So there's a place near where I live. Um, and it's not a fancy spa. I love a fancy spa, but it's not a fancy spa. It's a regular massage place. It's like an acupressure. So it's like
Oh,
it's a
okay.
deep massage.
Mhm.
And I go there, do that fairly regularly. I haven't been, maybe I'll go this weekend because I'm just thinking about it. But that I do like to do. I do that for myself. If I feel sore from working out or something, I will just schedule. And she's not expensive. So like it's an hour and it's not even expensive. It's not like a spa. So that I do. But like really get my hair done very often. I don't get my nails done I don't know. I don't go anywhere. I work out here, I work from home. So I'm home a lot, so I don't really do that. I don't.
Okay. Okay. What's something no one tells women about premenopause that you've learned firsthand?
Um, that it's not just hot flashes.
Mhm.
That's all I hear. That's all I heard about it.
Yeah.
And as I said, it wasn't really my symptom. I
Mhm.
think it's a significant symptom. My best friend has had hot flashes for the past like 12 years. It's
Wow.
too long. She's someone clearly who doesn't mind being uncomfortable. I do mind. So I'm gonna find a solution. I'm not doing that. Right.
Okay.
But so that's what I would say that, and also that it looks different for everybody, that it could just, and for me, it was just that whole emotional aspect of it that really hit me like a truck, and I felt very out of my mind, for a lack of a better way of saying it. And so I didn't know that. I heard a little bit of moodiness. I was a lot of bit of moodiness. It was, you know it was
Okay,
I
down here.
yeah, I was a mess. It was really messy for me.
Uh,
And so I wish I had known that, because then it wouldn't have been so surprising. Now I'm telling you, if you start on, when you get there and you start having feelings of a certain way, you'll think, oh, yeah, I heard that this could be a thing, you
yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's see. How can women advocate for their health when doctors dismiss their concerns? This is a big issue in the United States.
It's a big, big issue. And then they dismiss Black women more than they do just anybody, right? And so the first thing that I would just say is if your doctor dismisses your concerns, I would say find another doctor. I would say, and that sounds easier said than done, but I'm saying you just because what I don't need is to go to somebody and not have them listen to me
Hmm.
and or dismiss what I'm saying is happening in my body. That's what I don't need. I'm here for a listening ear and expertise. So if I'm not getting that, I'm going to find another doctor. And so for me, even when I was going through menopause, I've talked about this on my channel and in one of my videos, is that I would just go to the doctor and they'd say, oh, how long has since you had your last period, and they would just move on. They wouldn't say, well, are you feeling this way, or you might be having this kind of thing. And I find that problematic. I find that problematic. So I would say you have to advocate for yourself by, if someone doesn't listen to you,
Hmm.
whoever it is, if I have a friend who dismisses me and doesn't listen to me, I need to find a new friend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I no, I
That's
this is
true. It's
straight
very
up,
true. Yeah.
straight up. I need to find a new friend. And so the same is true for a doctor. I think that sometimes, and doctors are wonderful and they help us, but sometimes we hold them up on this pedestal and they're just people. And
Yeah.
so if this people that I'm sitting in front of, this person is not listening to me, I need to speak to somebody else. And I look at reviews for doctors online, or those med reviews and Google, look at all that. But obviously the preference would be if you could get a referral, somebody that that went to this doctor and it's a good doctor. That's
Yeah.
that's always the best. That's always the best. But sometimes we don't have that. So do your best to keep knocking on doors till you find somebody who listens to you. That's what I had to do when I was in menopause. That's what I had to do.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've heard tons of stories of like women just being dismissed,
Yeah,
or they'll tell you like, no, I know what's going on in my body, and then they'll come back and be like, oh, how did you know that? Like, are you
right,
going to school for medical? And it's like, no, I know what's wrong with my body. Like, I've been in this body since I was born. I can tell
right,
when something is wrong.
right.
So yeah, that's very important, but they do a lot of that in the US, and it's not
It
good.
just isn't. And I think there aren't. I was thinking about this the other day, Veronica. I was thinking I could count on one hand, and I'm not being, I don't even think I'm exaggerating. When I look over the course of my life, the excellent doctors that I've had
Mm.
a lot of doctors, but like excellent doctors where
Mhm.
I just think, oh, they were super good. They listened to me, they helped me, they thought outside the box, whatever it is, like on one hand.
Yeah. 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 I've had that
I
when I was having um I went to many dermatologists to figure out what was going on with my skin, and they just kept on saying, oh, you have this or you have that, and they kept on dismissing it as eczema. And I used every cream and oil underneath the sun. And then I went to one dermatologist, and she was like, well, let me actually take a piece of your skin and actually see
sample.
what the cause is, because it could be 1,001 things. And she was like, oh, it's a regular small fungus that everybody gets. And she gave me a
Yeah.
pill, and the thing was gone. I mean, like for years I was living with this thing. And it was just
What
like
a
somebody
revelation.
took the time to
Right.
say, yeah, there could be a million things. I'm not going to wrap my brain around it. Let's just go. I'm going to take a sample, and we'll test it out, and then I can tell you exactly what you have. Instead of just saying, oh, you have eczema, and giving me another prescription. so that money can go in, all these other people's pockets, you know.
It's it's I mean, it's so crazy, but what a revelation to go to a doctor who said, "Well, you know what? Let me take a sample of your skin. I'm not going to guess.
Yeah.
Let me look at this thing and see what it is."
Yeah.
But just one other thing on doctors not listening, my best friend that I was talking about that has had that hot flashes. Hey, Beatrice, if you're listening, um, that has had the hot flashes, she went to a doctor, a male doctor, and she was saying that, right? I've had these hot flashes. And that he told her, "Oh, well, you've had them too long. There's nothing you can do about it." And I said, "Beatrice, I'm not a doctor, but I don't think that's right." I, I mean, but I'm just saying this just happened a couple months ago. He was just like, "Yeah, man, and again, I'm not bashing men, but I'm saying it's not something that he's gone through or going to go through." And so her telling him about this, it was just sort of dismissed, like, "You know what? You've had it too long. Just live with it."
Oh wow.
Yeah, crazy.
That is crazy. That is crazy. Did she find another doctor?
I don't know if she has yet. I told my doctor, and she goes, "Send her to." That's not true. Please send her to me.
Oh,
So she hasn't gone yet. But my doctor, said, "No, that's not true." I said, "I know that's not true."
yeah. Yeah. So your friend's name is Beatrice. If you're listening, please go
Find another doctor.
find another doctor.
Yeah, can help. The
Or go to
hot flash.
or go to Beverly's doctor. Like,
I mean,
I mean, whew,
yeah, crazy.
this is very crazy.
With your skin, that's so um crazy that you're going to, that's my point. You went to doctor to doctor. You had to go to however many to find one who was excellent in that she solved your problem.
And this has been happening since I was like 7, 8, right? That's a long time.
It
I
is.
mean, and I've gone to different doctors.
Yeah.
It's girl, and you're telling me that it took from all the way from that age all the way up, you know, to some doctor was like, well, I'm not going to guess. Let's just take a skin graph of your
Yeah.
skin and
Makes sense to
see
me.
what it could be because it could be anything,
Yeah.
and she wasn't gonna rack her brain around it. So, yeah, it's uh, it's unfortunate that we
Fortunate.
have, that the system is like that, in the US.
It really, really is. And I think most of us can come up with a story of visiting a doctor with a ailment where you've had like a similar thing where it's just they didn't solve your problem, and then so you try the net, and nobody's really, what I have found is nobody really dives in too deep. They're just like, "Yeah, that's normal." Like you get that kind of, yeah.
Yeah,
And there's not really that care. That's part of being a doctor. It's not just that medicine or
mm,
whatever your specific field is that there has to be some sort of caring in there
yeah,
to treat whatever this problem is that I'm having. That's why I'm coming to you, for your knowledge, but also for your empathy and kindness to
yeah.
want to help me.
Well, that's the laughing joke of the US. The health the care in the healthcare in the US has gone out the window. I don't even know
Yeah,
if it was ever there, to begin
yeah,
with.
yeah.
So that's unexpected. What's the most unexpected lesson travel has taught you about health?
Um, I mean, a lesson that, and I saw you did the live with Tiffany, and you were talking about, I think you were talking about going to Greece and having to climb up all the stairs and to get the best views of like the water. That's definitely on my list too, to go to Greece.
Oh yeah, for
But
sure.
but with travel, in a lot of places that you go, you're going to have to be able to move around, so being healthy,
Mhm.
having a body that moves, having a body that can climb stairs, having a body that can walk a distance. When you travel, that's often needed, right? If you go to other places like in Europe or you're going to need to be able to move around. And so that's really a lesson that I've learned, is that how important that is. It's vital,
Mm-hmm.
for our well-being, to be able to move around. And we met through Stephanie Perry, who talks about specifically, women leaving the United States, right? Black women leaving the United States, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what I had said through that other her platform, the Exodus ASAP, which I belong to,
Yeah.
I was saying that we don't want to do all this planning and move our lives to get someplace else and then not be well when we get there.
Right.
So, we have to take care of these bodies because this is all we have,
Mm-hmm.
So that is something that travel, specifically certain places that you go, is that you have to be able to move around. You go to Greece, I hope I go there one day.
Yeah.
You have to be able to climb those stairs, right?
Yeah.
Lots and lots of steps.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And hills, and just, it's a lot. I mean, Europe, period. It's just it's a lot of walking,
it
which
is.
it's the normal thing to do. And they're like a size 0 over there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's yeah, that's good. So what's next for you? What's you have anything planned? I know you talked about you're gonna be doing some videos, some exercising videos, 30 minutes.
Yeah, so I don't know how it'll go. I have to work out the whole yeah, so I have to work out the kind of the lighting of it, but so it'll be a little murky, but yeah, that's the next thing that I'm planning, and just to really continue talking about health and wellness. And I might do like some food stuff, some cooking type things,
Yeah.
meals that I make that are easy, healthy and nutritious, like that sort of thing down the line. But yeah, the next thing that I'm thinking about is to just incorporate maybe some fitness things in, because my biggest thing that I really, really want for people to get, women in particular,
Hmm.
is just to put yourself on the list, and that to really look at health and wellness and eating well for yourself, that you're doing this nice thing for yourself. It's not this punishment. You're
Right.
feeding yourself so that we can move through this life healthier. And you're moving your body so that we can move through this life with ease. And so, I keep saying that again and again and again. And so with these videos, the reason why I'm saying they're quick and dirty is so that people don't feel like there's this big time investment,
Mhm.
right? So if you can just get into the habit of doing small bites, a little bite and a little bite and a little bite, then the whole thing won't seem so overwhelming, so that's really the only thing I can think of. Maybe some food, and definitely like some exercise stuff on my channel.
Okay,
Ask Beverly.
that's good. Well, thank
Beverly.
you, Beverly. This was lovely,
Yeah, this
and
was
I
fun.
hope to have you back soon.
Yeah, I'd love to come back, and thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. And yeah, I really enjoyed this. This was fun.
Great. Um, if you like this video, please like, share, comment, give it a thumbs up, and also go to Beverly's channel, subscribe, and watch some of her videos. And
Yes.
we will see you next time.
Yeah. Take it easy, guys. Bye. Have a good day.